Everybody, it's Mike McFarland. I'm the host of Servant Selling with Mortgage Mike. Thank you for joining us. I hope this inspires you. I hope it builds your faith, and I hope it helps you see God moving in your business. Enjoy the podcast. Hey everybody, welcome to my second episode of Servant Selling with Mortgage Mike. I am so glad that you tuned in. I have my second guest here, Alicia Richards with 39 Signature, in the Fallant Group. So excited to have Alicia with me. Just to give you guys a little bit of background on how and what this show represents to Alicia, to me, and hopefully to you. What we want to do here on Servant Selling with Mortgage Mike is highlight people and open up a discussion around how we can let faith define our work instead of work defining us, right?
Right.
And so where do we begin to pull in faith in the midst of all the struggles that we have as salespeople, the ups, the downs, the middle ground, right? The dips, leaning into the dip, all of the things that we struggle with, because sure, we're looking for success, but in the midst of that, we're on a journey, and we have to be in a journey of trust. Exactly. And in that journey of trust, it's faith, and that God's going to take care of us. Yeah. So I'm so excited to have you here with me.
Thank you for having me.
Alicia and I have known each other for a couple of years now, several years, probably 5 or 6 maybe.
Probably.
Yeah.
It's been so long we don't remember.
Exactly. And so I remember meeting you, Alicia. You were at another real estate company.
I was just
many
starting
years
out
back.
down the street in Galleria.
Right. And then all of a sudden, you had left that company. We lost track of each other.
Yeah, we actually did.
And then all of a sudden you reappear like 6 months ago, and I'm like, oh my gosh, I know her.
It was meant to be.
It was meant to be, absolutely.
It was that circle.
Mm-hmm.
We get back to each other.
And you've had this really great journey. So I'm gonna give you a lot of honor right now. So Alicia, I can sit down with Alicia and we can have a really open discussion about how God is just active in our lives. Which is really cool. You don't usually find those opportunities to connect with people that way. So first off, I just when we sat back down and had a cup of coffee when we reconnected, we were just talking about how God was interacting with us.
It was supposed to be 30 minutes and it became a couple hours.
Exactly, right.
Not
that I can talk that long.
Right?
No, and Alicia, no way. So we just had a great connection and a great reconnection, a great discussion. And when I started leaning into this idea of servant selling with Mortgage Mike, Alicia, you were like at the top of the list.
Oh, thank
right?
you. I appreciate it.
So I'm so honored that you're here with us today.
I'm honored to be here.
Yeah. And so, we met yesterday and we just talked a little bit about your journey and your faith journey. And, it's interesting because when we first met, and then we reconnected. There's a
story.
Great story in the middle of that I didn't know about, and I'd love for you to just maybe begin to share with us, or I can start us into it. And I think one thing that you found, if I remember correctly, you were looking at, how did you get into real estate? Like, what was the thing that brought you to being in real estate?
Yeah, I can't believe it's been 6 years now since I've done that.
Wow.
Let's see. Well, basically, I started out working at a corporation.
Okay.
I had a job that I thought would be 9 to 5, and you're salaried, and you work all the time. You're always on call, and I got to a point where I felt like I was getting burnt out, or I wasn't being fulfilled.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
I didn't have as much time for my family and for my volunteer activities that I was so, I always wanted to do all these volunteering activities. I just never had time to do it.
Right.
And I struggled with the decision probably for about 6 months.
Mm-hmm.
What should I leave this great paying job and just find something that would give me the time to do that? To do the activities that I want to do.
Right.
And one day the choice was just taken away from me. I was injured on the job. I fractured my kneecap, and I was out of work for a good 6 months doing rehab. And I really. Workman's comp runs out, and you're like, what are you going to do? I still had another 6 months of rehab to do on my knee, and I needed to find something where I could work from home. So actually, through one of my volunteer activities with the rodeo, I had a committee member that was a realtor, and she was looking for an assistant at the time that could work from home.
Got it.
So that's how I got into real estate. I'm very appreciative of that opportunity, and it really brought me into this industry. And after praying about it, I decided this was what I need to do.
Mm-hmm.
And although real estate is normally a commission type job, I was offered an hourly position.
Got it.
Then I had job
So
security.
you had your entree.
So that was my transition.
Got it.
Yeah,
Okay.
so it wasn't as risky as those that just go straight into real estate and be
And
commission.
straight 100% commission.
Yeah.
That's a crazy jump.
You know what that's like.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
And then from there, there were things that in her business, I tried to apply my corporate skills into this highly individualistic and entrepreneurial job.
Right.
And long story short with that one, it just provided me an opportunity to show her how to increase her business.
Right.
And as her business increased, my position there started to change, and it wasn't what I was looking for to do.
Right.
So I had to make the decision one day, kind of abruptly, of is this really where I want to be?
Right.
And I didn't have a backup plan, and I was like, great, here I am again,
Right.
thinking about what do I do next?
Right.
Do I want to stay in this position? Do I want to stay in this industry? And I decided, I prayed about it, decided that this isn't for me, this isn't where I'm supposed to be, and I'll figure it out. God's going to provide.
Right.
Prayed about it, left it. 3 hours later, I was given another job opportunity.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
So here I'm hearing in the vein of all of this, right? That one, you gave it up to prayer and just trusted God's going to take care of you. And I think you've had some big choices to make that take you out of a place of security and put you into a place of insecurity. So if I think about like one of the places where we struggle with salespeople or entrepreneurs in the real estate business as loan officers or real estate agents, or honestly, I don't care what business you're in, right?
Yeah.
If you're like you and me, and our job is to go out and connect with the community, and hopefully that translates into dollars to support our family, we leave the security of a corporate job and a corporate paycheck, and we have to enter into a place of insecurity.
Exactly.
Not that God isn't always taking care of us, because that's the
He's
funny
always there
part,
with us.
right?
Right.
Like this is all about provision and trusting in God's provision. And what I love is that with you and your transitions, they were brought to you. You prayed about them, and God provided. So so even in the midst of those spaces of insecurity, you're able to find some security in just knowing that he's a good father, right? He's going to provide. He doesn't leave us or forsake us, which I think is